Good evening, good evening, good evening, and blessings to everyone. Good evening again, and blessings to everyone. Welcome to the second segment of effective prayers for such a time as this. And may God richly bless you as we share His word together. Well, gracious God, we thank you for again another opportunity to serve you, to share your word, to receive from you and from others the blessings that you have in store for us. And I wanted to share tonight some thoughts again from the book Effective Prayer for Such a Time as This. And if you're using the book, it's not mandatory. You don't have to have the book in order to follow or to share. But this will be on page 85. There are four basic principles about the efficacy of prayer that we can compare to the lessons that I learned from the experiencing of assembling a dining table. That's a story that I've told where it was so simple to put together that I kept missing how to do it. And I'm sure that that has happened to all of us from time to time in some ways, where we just overlook certain things because we just make it too complicated in our minds. And so these four basic principles, the first one is that the efficacy of prayer is the specific effectiveness of prayer. A prayer does not have to be complicated for it to make sense. And in fact, it doesn't even have to make sense for it to be effective, not to us. It just has to make sense in terms of what we are truly sincerely seeking, because now God would understand our motives. And in fact, motive is often the key to what true prayer is all about. So we don't have to have long, complicated, flowery, eloquent prayer, and I think most people can understand that. And most of all, we don't have to complicate the prayer or the matter of the prayer for it to have more weight. In other words, if we think that because we make it more complicated, more intense, more dramatic, that it would be more effective, it is not necessarily making it more effective. The second is the efficacy of prayer is a special efficiency of prayer. The efficacy of prayer is the special efficiency of prayer. Efficacy, I keep repeating, means prayer for a particular purpose, a particular design that would bring a particular result. A prayer does not need an abundance of spiritual knowledge or theology for it to work. The first thing, then, it doesn't have to be complicated. The second thing, it doesn't have to have a whole lot of knowledge, a whole lot of head stuff. You don't have to know all about the circumstances. You don't have to be able to analyze all the intricacies of what may be going on or what you're praying for. So it doesn't need an abundance of scriptural knowledge and theology for prayer to work. The third thing is that the efficacy of prayer is the peculiar usefulness of prayer. One has to be able to use results of prayer. So, the efficacy of prayer has peculiar and particular usefulness. In other words, we just don't pray out of folly. We don't pray out of meaningless things or purposes. The prayer should be deliberate and should be aimed at a particular result. Now, for me to pray for, or anyone for that matter, to pray for the sky to be green or the sky to be yellow or the sky to be purple, that may not, prayer may not work. It may not be effective prayer because the efficacy does not serve a usefulness. The fourth thing is that the efficacy of prayer is the unique measure of prayer. That is to say, one should be able to see and qualify the results of prayer. And essentially, that's what we mean by the efficacy of prayer. That it is measurable results. It can be compared. It can be understood in terms of its effectiveness. You can see or understand or feel the results. It can be even measured in terms of quantity, or however you want to, to understand, depending on what you were praying for. But it should have measurable results. And that's what we mean by the efficacy of prayer. God bless you. May He make His face shine upon you, give you His peace and His love right now. So I'll see you next week, the same time, for the third and last segment in this series. God bless you.